Hello, my name is Phil, and I spend way too much time looking at stories and wondering how much of this is stolen from the Bible. So we are going to explore a popular film today. I'll give you a summary of the plot of that film. I'll then give you a summary of the Bible in 2 minutes. I'll then compare the two, and then I'll give you an arbitrary percentage of how much of the Bible you'll find in that film. And this time we are looking at Disney's Frozen. So just in case you are one of the few lucky people in the world who've never seen it, here's a quick summary of the plot. It's full of spoilers. The story begins in the kingdom of Arendelle, where sisters Elsa and Anna grow up in the shadow of fear. Elsa possesses the magical power to create ice and snow, but she struggles to control it. A childhood accident leads the royal family to isolate her, and the sisters are separated. Fear and misunderstanding shape their early lives, leaving them both emotionally broken. As Elsa comes of age, her powers are revealed to the public, and in a moment of fear and anger, she unintentionally plunges Arendelle into eternal winter. The kingdom suffers, and in a moment of panic, she runs away to go and live in an ice palace in the mountains. Anna, her sister, sets out to find her, hoping to restore the balance. Tensions rise, danger mounts, and the sisters must confront the hidden consequences of the fear and the unspoken truths. Along the way, Anna must face many dangers and risks to her own safety for the sake of Elsa and the kingdom. Meanwhile, Elsa begins to realise that love, not fear, is the key to controlling her powers. Through courage and selflessness, both sisters grow, learning to trust one another and themselves. In the climactic ending, Anna is threatened by forces beyond her control. Through an act of selfless love, she protects Elsa, breaking the curse of eternal winter. Elsa learns to embrace her power, the kingdom is restored, and peace returns. Finally, the sisters are reunited, their relationship strengthened. Arendelle thrives once again, and Elsa and Anna are now fully reconciled. They face the future together with hope and confidence. So that's the story of Frozen. How does that compare to the story of the Bible? Well, let's remember the story of the Bible in about 2 minutes. So Act 1 is called Fall because we start with a perfect world created by God. But because mankind decides they want to be in charge, they disobey God. That's the story of Adam and Eve. And it all falls down the toilet. Which takes us to Act 2, which is called Consequence. Because of the fall, everything goes to pot. We live in a chaotic, fallen, dirty, messy world. And that's the consequence of that disobedience, what we call sin. But in amongst this consequence, God promises that someone is coming who's going to make it all right again. Act 3 is Sacrifice. God walks into this broken world in the man Jesus Christ, and he lives amongst the darkness, the chaos, the sin. And it takes its toll. He finds himself nailed to a cross, dying in this broken, fallen world. Has God finally succumbed to the effects of sin, or is something else happening? We'll find out in Act 4. Act 4 is called New Life, and you can tell from the title, of course, God doesn't succumb to the fall and to sin. What kind of story would that be? Jesus dies on the cross and he comes back to life again, proving that he is bigger than sin, bigger than the fall, bigger than the chaos and the darkness. And in coming back to new life, he extends an offer to all who follow him, that we may too look forward to being risen again from the fall. Which takes us to Act 5, Home, and the closing stages of the Bible. Through his death and resurrection, Jesus opens the way to living in a world that's a bit more like that pre-fall world. We see glimpses of it today in church at its best, but we will see it fully revealed when Jesus comes again. And there's a beautiful picture of what that looks like at the tail end of the book of Revelation. Okay, so we've seen the story of Frozen, we've seen the story of the Bible. How do they compare? Well, let's go through those 5 acts from the Bible. Fall, and consequences. Do we see them in Frozen? Yes, we kind of do, don't we? They hide away the power, they're scared of it, and it comes bursting out, and there's huge consequences. The city of Arendelle is plunged into an eternal winter. So we've got fall and we've got consequences. Have we got sacrifice? Yes, we do, don't we? Anna she goes through all the danger, and then in the climax of the film she gets in the way of the spell as ultimate sacrifice, willing to give herself up for Elsa. So we do have the sacrifice. And do we have the new life that comes out of that? Sort of do. Anna doesn't actually die, does she? So we don't have that die and coming back to life, but we do have the sacrifice, and we do have the final new home, because everything is right and good again. So there's lots of the elements of the Bible in there. It's not going to be the highest percentage, I don't think, because we don't really have the new life, because the sacrifice, Anna doesn't really die properly. I'm docking points for them creating a sequel, because the idea of home is that everything is right and it stays right, but because they did a sequel it doesn't stay right, so it's not complete. So it's not the greatest 100% overlap with the Bible, but I'm going to give it a pretty solid 60%. You got some of the key themes there, haven't you? You've got fall and brokenness, and you've got new home and restoration and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have all 5 acts properly fulfilled, and so it's a bit of a dipping your toe in. So do watch Frozen, enjoy it, enjoy the themes, but then go to the Bible for the depth and the meat.